Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Ascot Racecourse here on Saturday. It is October the 19th, 2019. It's British Champions Day from Ascot, and I'm going to look at all the races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. I mean around the world. Today I looked at races from Australia, the UK, and also the United States. So we're going globe trotting here. But let's get to the action here on British Champions Day, my favorite day of the British calendar, because it's like, it's the British Cup of the British racing. You have the best of the best divisions all squaring up here. Keep in mind there are some changes this year. First thing, they'll be using the inner track today, which is basically the hurdles course without the hurdles. So it's you're going to see a bit of a tighter bend at times, a bit of a tighter course. Except actually, the final turn isn't as tight as the outer course. So that's not as tight, but just a little bit more narrow. So you don't want to be drawn so wide, I think, in the straightaway. So you want a horse drawn a little bit lower, but around the turn, it's not as tight as its original turn. But they'll be using the straight course for the sprint races, but that's the straight course is rated heavy. The inner course is good to soft, mainly good around the main portions of the course, around the front end of the course, down near Swinley Bottom. It's very soft, so just keep that in mind. So let's get to the action. The first race, 135 from Ascot. It is the Group 1 British Champion Sprint Stakes. Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a very good purse, $746,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have 17 horses going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. Top selection, I'm going to take the 12 horse Hello Youm Zane. I'm going to go 12, 10, 11 in the tri-cash trifecta. 12, 10, 11 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, the 12 horse Hello You Zane. This 3-year-old colt by Kodiak. James Doyle gets the mount for Kevin Ryan. The horse's most recent out came 7th of September at Haydock on very soft ground. 6 furlongs in the Group 1 Sprint Cup Stakes, and he won by a half length as the 92 favorite that day. He just took off clear in the final half a furlong and just went away with it. A very good run. He showed a lot that day first off the break. He's coming off here off a little bit of repression, not a lot. I think on, again, heavy ground, soft ground, he'll handle enough, and I think he get a good run here today. Before that, he ran here at Ascot, 21st June, yielding ground, 6 furlongs in the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup. He finished third by 1/4 lengths, and I thought he ran decently. He needed that a little extra turn of foot late, but with all said and done, he ran a good race. And then at Haydock on very firm ground, 6 furlongs in the Group 1 the Sandy Lane Stakes. He won by 3 1/4 lengths, beating Calex, who finished second. Rogozden horse, who was very, thought of high that day. This horse, he just took off clear and loved every bit of the Haydock going there. And then before that, in the Green End, they tried the horse at 7 furlongs. He just didn't stay there. He's back to a sprinting trip on heavy ground. I think he'll love it. 5-1, drawn well. I'm going to take him here. If there's a horse that could possibly upset him, I think it could be the 2016 winner here, who's running back this one today, the 10 horse, the Tin Man, 7-year-old by Aquano. He's up there in age. He hasn't won this year out of 4 offerings, but he loves Ascot, and also he loves a wet going, like he's going to see today. He ran a very good place in the Sprint Cup most recently, Haydock, behind Hello Zane. He stalked. He just couldn't get that good turn of foot, but like I said, he ran well. Before then, Hackwood at Newbury, he ran 7th. He ran okay there, but it wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't proven off the race before it came to Diamond Jubilee. First off the break, he just ran crap, and then he ran decent third place in the list stakes for his seasonal reappearance. But he has form in the past. Like I said, he won this race a few years ago, and he'll always run these, weird races. 10-1, he could possibly run a weird race. I'll definitely use him on the play spot here. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins, but I'm more confident in the younger horse here, the 12 horse, Hello You Zane. But to recap my selection for the first race, 135 from Ascot, the Group 1 British Champions Sprint Stakes. Let's take the 12 horse, Hello You Zane, as top selection. We'll go 12, 10, 11 in the tri-cash trifecta. We'll go 12, 10 in the play spot. To race number 2. The 210, the second race from Ascot's the Group 2 British Champions Long Distance Cup. It's a Group 2 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $576,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 10 horses going 3,200 meters or 2 miles on the inner turf course. So just keep in mind, it's the inner course, rated good to soft. The top selection here, I'm going to take the 8 horse Stradivarius. I'm going to go 8, 4, 10 in the tri-cash trifecta. 8, 4, 10 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection selection, 8-horse Stradivarius, 5-horse by See the Stars. Frankie Dettori's on this one for John Gosden. First things first, I am shocked that today won't be his final race. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they said they're going to run this horse into a 6-year-old campaign next year along with Enable. And yeah, for some reason, I thought they would definitely retire the horse because he's still, he's not a gelding, so he could go to the stud, and you just do not see a lot of stayers in stud anymore. So it'd be kind of cool because it's, for him to go to stud. But with that being said, great to see him go to a 6-year-old campaign also, but great and then shocking also. But he's done everything right as recently. His last loss came in this race a few years ago, but most recent in Doncaster Cup at Doncaster, the 2 miles and a quarter trip, he won by 1 3/4 lengths, and he was supposed to win that day. Now 11 cents a dollar, he won very nicely, very easy race. Before then, the Lonsdale Cup, he got the $1 million bonus that day, winning by 1 1/4 lengths, and again, that was a very tough race, but he got the job done. And then the Goodwood Cup, he won by a neck. Keep in mind, it was a small margin of victory that day, but that was still a very good run. He had enough left in the tank, a very good run. He's the kind of horse when he knows when he gets to the front because he starts pulling himself up, but so, he gets a little lazy at times, but he always wins nicely. He'll handle the going. He won this race last year. But with that being said, if there could be a horse that could upset him today, it could be the 4-horse Kew Gardens. He's run a few times this year. Most recently in a place in the Irish St. Ledger, before the place in the Coronation Cup. I think he's come to this race well. I think he'll handle the going. And, at 5-1, he's the kind of horse that could possibly be upset. If his odds go nice enough up, I might do a very small each way on him, but still, with that being said, I still think Stradivarius is the horse to beat. But Kew Gardens, like I said, price play, definitely use him on the plays pot. But this kind of race, as a fan, I love. As better, not so much. But maybe we could catch a price with Kew Gardens. But like I said, still, for the 5th time, Stradivarius is your most likeliest winner. But to recap my selection for the 210, the second race from Ascot's to Group 2, British Champions Long Distance Cup, let's go with the 8-horse Stradivarius. Price play, like I said, 4-horse Kew Gardens. We'll go 8, 4, 10 in the trifecta to race number 3. Race number 3, the 245, it is the Group 1 British Champions Fillies and Mares Stakes. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $704,500, race for 3-year-olds and upwards, Fillies and Mares only. We have 12 horses going 2,400 meters about, or the distance of ground of about 1 mile and 1/2 with the course change. It's not exactly a mile and a half, it's actually just a little bit less, but close enough. The top selection here, I'm going to try and beat the Gosden horse with a Gosden horse. That's going to be the 3-horse Annapurna as my top selection. I'm going to go 3, 6, 11 in the TriCash trifecta. 3, 6, 11 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 3-horse Annapurna. 3-year-old filly by Frankel. John Gosden trains. And back to a circa 2010 to 2014. William Buick gets the mount for Gosden here. It's kind of a throwback ride. But Frankie always gets first choice. He chose Star Catcher. Problem is, I don't like Star Catcher's post draw and also the heavy ground, but what can you do? But I think Annapurna's come to this race well. Her most recent outing came in the Group 1 Prix de Royal U at Longchamp 2 weeks ago. You on the ground, mile 3/4 there. She stayed the trip well. She won by 1 3/4 length. She quickened up nicely. It was an all-around great run. Major improvement off a race before it came in the Prix de Mai at Longchamp, mile and a half, September the 15th. First off, the long refreshing. She finished 7 by 5 3/4 lengths, and she just didn't have a lot left in the tank. But before that, she won the Epsom Oaks very nicely by a neck, and then won the Linkfield Oaks trial very nicely, and broke the main at Linkfield on the all-weather very nicely in January. She's done everything right other than the Prix de Mai and a novice race at Wolverhampton where she wasn't 100% fit, and also she just wasn't comfortable there, but she's improved a lot. I'm going to take her here off the quick turnarounds, drawn well, 4-1. I'm going to give her a shot, along with the 6-horse Fleeting. This trio filly by Zoffany. Donica O'Brien gets them out for Aidan O'Brien. This horse ran in the Prix de l'Opera at Longchamp a few weeks ago, a mile and a quarter, and she finished second by a nose. She nearly got to Villa Marina. She closed up well. She loved every bit of the wet going. If she was drawn a little bit better, she probably would have won, but she ran a good effort there. Before then, the Prix de Mai at Longchamp, she finished 5th by 2 lengths, and she ran okay, but not great. And then the Beverly D at Arlington here over in Chicago, she finished 4th by 5 3/4 lengths. Again, she closed up well, but the mile 3:16 trip was a little bit short. She's gonna get the mile and a half today. She loves Ascot. She ran a massive race, I thought, in the Ribblesdale earlier this year, and I'm gonna take her here at 6-1 also. These are definitely on the place pod or the multi-race tickets, whatever I decide to play. But to recap my selections now for the third, the 245 from Ascot's Group 1 British Champions Filly Mare Stakes. Let's take the 3-horse Annapurna. We'll also use the 6-horse Fleeting here. We'll go 3, 6, 11 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta to the featured fourth race now. The 320, the fourth race from Ascot's the Group 1 Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses going for a purse of just over $1.4 million. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have 16 horses going 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the turf course. I think this is a very wide open race. A lot of people might disagree with that, but since it's a very wide open race, I'll give you 2 horses that I think can win, both at decent odds. In no particular order, I'm going to take the 1-horse Accidental Agent, and we'll also use the 7-horse Safe Voyage, so 1-7 here in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. So we'll start off with the 1-horse Accidental Agent, 5-year-old horse by Delegator. Eve Houghton trains. Charlie Bishop gets the mount. This horse won the Queen Anne over this turf course in 2018 very nicely. I still want to have him, and if you gave me that form for that race, it was a very wide open race. I wouldn't have picked Accidental Agent, but he's a horse that loves Ascot. His most recent outing came on the 24th of August, though, at Windsor, not a quarter in the Group 3 Winter Hill Stakes, and he finished third by 5.5 lengths, and he just stalked all the way around the race course. Couldn't get that good turn of foot, but he didn't weaken out of it, but didn't quicken out either. He just stayed the trip. It was an okay run. Before then, the Sovereign Stakes at Salisbury, yielding ground 1 mile August 15th, finished second by nose. He finished behind Kick On, who I believe is running later on in the Balmoral Handicap. This horse just couldn't get that good kick at the end to catch Kick On, but he ran a terrific race there. Improving off the race forward came a good one in the Sussex, where he lost to Too Darn Hot. He finished 8th by 5.25 lengths. He really never showed up there. And then ran here at Ascot in the Summer Mile, where he finished 4th by 3 lengths. And again, he ran a good race against some very tough horses. He's been close, but no cigar in a few races. Other than the Goodwood race, he's had a good season. He hasn't won yet this year. His last victory came here at Ascot in 2018 in the Queen Anne, but he's due for a good run. At 20-1, he likes to heavy going. I think he'll run a good race, so let's take him here. Hopefully he doesn't refuse. So we'll take Accidental Agent. We'll also take the 7-horse Safe Voyage. Jason Hart's on this one for John Quinn, the 6-year-old gelding by Fast Company. I had this horse most recently in the Prix de la Forêt at Longchamp, 7 furlongs, October the 6th, 2 weeks ago there. He finished 4th by 4 3/4 lengths, and he ran okay. He was just maybe a little bit not comfortable in spots. It was a very tough Group 1 that day, a little bit tougher, I want to say, than this one. He just couldn't get out there, but he ran a good race. Also, it was off his first race in 6.5, 7 weeks, so maybe you need the run. With the quick turnaround, I think that should help him a substantial lot. Also, the heavy ground helps him go up even more. He loves a wet going. Before that, Newberry, 7 furlongs in the Hungerford, he finished third by 1.5 lengths. And again, if the race was a mile, probably would have won. He had a great turn of foot there, I thought. And then the Minstrel Stakes at the Curragh 7 furlongs, July 20th. He finished third by 1/4 lengths. Again, he was on the drive. He was selling a little bit, but he wants that mile. He's going to get it today, and I think he's sitting on a good run. He hasn't won since the John O'Gorn Haydock, but like I said, I think he's going to run well. So 21, we'll use him as a co-top selection also. Keep in mind also, both these horses can be definitely used on the place pod. But to recap my selections now for the fourth, the 320 from Ascot. It's the Group 1 Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. Let's take the 1-horse Accidental Agent, and we'll also use the 7-horse Safe Voyage. So we'll go 1-7 here. You could put them both in exacta forecast combinations, but I'm most definitely going to use them both on the place pod. So now let's get to race number 5 from Race number 5 from Ascot, the 4 o'clock. It is the Group 1 Champion Stakes. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses going for a purse of just over $1.7 million. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have 9 horses going 2,000 meters or monoquarter on the turf course. Top selection here, I'm going to take the old lady, the 3-horse Coronet. I'm going to go 3-8-6 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 3-8-6 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection, 3-horse Coronet. 5-year-old mare by DeBowie. Frankie Dettori's on this one for John Gosden. This is her final race ever. After this, she goes to the stud, and it's kind of sad because I would love to see this horse run the Breeders' Cup Turf in a few weeks. I've been saying it all season long. The turf division here in America is horrible, and she looks like the kind of horse that if she runs in the Breeders' Cup Turf at Santa Anita for the mile-and-a-half trip, she'll win by a mile. We have to wait and see. They could change their mind and possibly send this horse last minute to Santa Anita. I highly doubt it, but right now, before the race, make sure you just do a small each way on her for the Breeders' Cup Turf if you can. But like I said, that's probably not going to happen, but she could definitely win here. She's going to like the little bit of good soft going, but she hasn't been seen in almost 2 months, exactly 2 months actually, on the 18th of August at Deauville. Mile and a quarter in the Group 1 Parisian Romanet Stakes, and she won by 3 quarters in length there, and she just had everything her own way from the rail. She quickened up nicely. It was a very good run. Before then, the Group 1 Prix de Saint-Cloud at Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud at Saint-Cloud, mile and a half, yielding ground due to the 30th. She fought a good race down the lane. She got in front of the nose in front of Zayed, and she won nicely. A very good run. That was her first Group 1. She was always the bridesmaid before that, never the bride, but she finally switched it that day and did everything right. And then before that, in Newmarket, 4th of May, in the Jockey Club Stakes, she finished 4th by 5.5 lengths. Not 100% there. She needed that extra turn of foot. She didn't run half bad, but she could have still ran better also. And then before that, she ran in the British Champions Philly Mare Stakes here at Ascot, this fixture last year, a mile and a half, where she finished second by a length by Magical, who went on to place then in the British Cup Turf behind Enable. Magical actually, had a very tough campaign last year, but this horse, she placed behind a very good horse, running back and won today. She's not the same. Magical's not the same horse like she ran in 2018, but she's still a good horse. And then she ran in a second behind Sia Class in the Yorkshire Oaks. She was facing these tough horses, placing behind these good horses. Here she gets drawn well, 7-2 on soft ground. I'm going to take her here. But like I said, I would love to see her run in the British Cup Turf in a few weeks. Like I said, that's probably not going to happen, but I could still dream. So I'll use her. And, if there's going to be a price horse that could possibly get a piece of it, I think it would be the 8-horse Pondus. And I know I'm getting very wacky with this one. David Muscat gets on this one. Daniel Muscat gets on this one for James Fanshawe. This horse finished third in the Dubai Duty Free Legacy Cup Stakes in Newbury a few weeks ago, and I thought he ran decently. He needed that extra turn of foot, but off a little bit of refreshing, he ran well. And then he had a very good place in Roses Lancaster at Haydock a few weeks ago, and then he had a very nice place before that in Listed Stakes at Newbury in July. He's a horse, like I said, he's stepping up in the loads class. He loves a wet going. He likes the amount of quarter trip. If there's going to be wackiness, it could be him. But like I said, he's a horse you want to use as an insurance play on your plays pod. Like I said, I'm more confident in Coronet here. But to recap my selection for the 5th, 4 o'clock from Ascot, the Group 1 Champion Stakes. Let's take the 3-horse Coronet. We'll go 3, 8, 6 in the trifecta. Let's get to the nightcap from Ascot. Race number 6 from Ascot, the 440. It is the Balmoral Handicap. It's Class 2 handicap going for a purse of $320,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 23 horses entered, but keep in mind, only 20 to go, 1,600 meters or 1 mile down the turf course. A very wide open race. I'll give you 3 horses I think can win. No particular order. It would go with the 1-horse Lord North, the 6-horse Escobar, and we'll also use the number 14-horse Amendo Mangalini. So we'll go 1, 6, 14 here in the Balmoral Handicap. We'll start off with the 1-horse Lord North, 3-0 Gilliman Bowie. Frankie Dettori's on this one for John Gosden. Is one of the heavyweights here, but he's a deserved heavyweight. Most recently, he ran in the Cambridgeshire here. It's over at Newmarket on the 8th, September the 28th, and he won by 3-quarters length, 9-2 favorite, in a 30-horse field for the favorite to win as easily as he did. It was a very good run. He had a great turn of foot, and all around great effort. Before that, over the course and distance here at Ascot, Class 2 handicap back on the 6th September. He finished second by half length, and again, he closed up well. He needed that extra turn of foot late, but it was first race since running at Sandown back in the 23rd of May. I thought it was a terrific effort, and then they ran him at, like I said, Sandown before the 1 mile Listed Stakes, finished 8th by 7.5 lengths. He ran okay early on, but then he just hit the wall. Something must have went amiss there. And then before that, Class 5 novice in the Newcastle, 1 mile on the Tapeta, he won by 11 lengths, did everything right there, but he only had one other rival. And then before that, in the Red Car last October, he won by length. He got the job done. He's drawn one, which I like here, with the wet growing on the outside course. 20 at 3-1. Let's take him along with the 6-horse Escobar. 5-year-old by famous name Adam Kirby's on this one for David O'Meara. This horse is most recent out and came a few weeks ago here to Ascot. 7 furlongs in a Class 2 Heritage Handicap, and he finished third by 3 3/4 lengths. And again, he closed up a little bit late, but he still needed an extra turn of foot. Before that, here at Ascot, Class 2 Handicap in September, 7 furlong trip. Again, he finished 4th by half length. Again, he closed up well, but he needed that extra turn. turn. And then he ran the Strencel Stakes at York Mile on the 8th, August 24th, finished 5th by 2 1/4 lengths. The few in front of him just ran that better race against those group horses. He just didn't show a lot. He hasn't won since July 13th. I came at York going the 1 mile trip in a Class 2 handicap. He won that race with a ginormous weight on him, 140 pounds, and he just won nicely. Very good run. Very good ride by Jamie Spencer that day. It's adding Kirby up, who knows his horse well also. 15-1, I think you get a piece of it, along with the 14 horse Amendo Mangolini, 4-year-old colt by Galileo. Donick O'Brien's on this one for Aiden O'Brien. This horse's most recent outing came 19 days ago at Cork, yielding ground a mile and 8th in the listed stakes, where he finished 4th by 2 lengths, and they put the blinkers on that day, and he ran well. He had a great turn of foot. He concentrated to the task. He ran a good race for it being his first race since the 3rd of April. I came at Leopardstown 1 mile listed stakes, where he finished 4th by 1.5 lengths, and he didn't really show a lot that day. Never was really comfortable. And then before that, in a Smiled Quarter listed stakes back in March, he finished 3rd by 5 lengths, and again, never really ran a good race there. But as a 2-year-old, he only won once. That was a 2-year-old at Galway back in August of 2017. Excuse me. So he had no race 2018. That was a 2-year-old in a main race. He won by 5.5 lengths and had 22 cents a dollar. He did everything right. He's a kind of horse. It took him a while to get used to. To get a good run. His last one was promising. Blinkers on. 4-year-old campaign in a handicap. You don't see O'Brien run a lot of horses in a handicap in England, but at 8-1, I think he could also get a shot, so we'll use him on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 6th, 440 for Ascot's Balmoral Handicap, we'll use the 1-horse Lord North, it's the 6-horse Escobar, and the 14-horse Amendo Mangolani. So we'll go 1-6-14. We'll use them both in the plays pot and in the exact and forecast combinations here. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5. Good luck, everybody.